Hello everybody, hello newcomers, welcome to Joshua's Coding Hub. Today in Python I will be teaching you the for loop. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Okay, so let me take you through what we're going to be doing today. So this is the 10th Python tutorial in my YouTube channel, and today we will be learning about the for loop. As the name implies, the for loop belongs to the loop category. Some loops in the loop category are the if loop, the else loop, and the while loop. The for loop is most similar to the while loop. However, the for loop is a loop that is more used in the professional workplace for coding. The for loop does things more quickly and more efficiently with less lines of code than the while loop. Now, let me show you an example of the for loop and when we use it. This is a for loop. So this is basically the things that are needed in order to make a for loop. For x in. So if you read this, maybe take a picture or something. This is the important part. This is what identifies the for loop as a for loop. X is a variable. So x is normally used as I. I normally use it as I. You'll understand when I show you an example. If this is another key aspect of the for loop, it must be in the for loop for a for loop to be a for loop, and the dots, these can be like functions, for example, range function, the list, like all of that. You'll understand when I show you examples. So let me show you an example of a for loop now. So let's go to our folder, Joshua's Python, and then make a folder in today's date. For me, that'll be the 1st of June, 2023. Then we click on that folder. And then here's our this is the program I've made prior to the class. So you make also a new file. You do this by pressing new text document. Then you can also name your thing whatever you want. It's preferably with something with 4. So let's do 4.py. Then if this question pops up, say yes. So I've already made my file. So you go and make that file. Then I'm going to open this file. Right click on it. And then press open with Notepad. So this is an example of a for loop that I made. So I make a list. If you don't know what lists are, I've done a video on them. Please go check it out because you'll understand it better then. But anyway, this is a list. And then the list I name is fruits. For I in fruits, so I, like I told you, is the X in that case. So for I in fruits, colon print I. So in and for are there, like I said they would be. And fruits is, remember, this is in the place where the dots were. So this is the name of the list. So let's go see what happens. So let's open our command prompt. This is where we run all of our programs for people who are new. Let's minimize this. Okay. Now let's copy the URL address. And then let's... there. Copy everything I did. And yeah. Enter, and then you will get all of our values in the list, orange and kiwi. What happens here? Let me show you. I, for I in fruits. I is basically Python interpreter takes this as basically like the first value of the list. So apple is the first value for I in fruits. Print I. So print I, then the next time comes around, I is basically added without your knowledge. Python interpreter adds I, so second value, third value. So basically I starts as 0. So print I 0. So there's 0 value in fruits. And now if you don't know, in Python, a list value starts from 0. So 0th value is apple, the first value is orange, and the second value is kiwi. So I starts from 0. For the 0th value of fruits, the list of fruits, print I, so print apple. Then adds for the first for the first value in fruits, print the first value, which is orange. Then so on with kiwi. So this is one of the things that the for loop can do. And then let me show you another cool thing it can do. I'm gonna go, I'm going to print out the numbers 1 to 5, let's say. I want to show you a comparison between the for loop and the while loop. So I will do program for the for loop. So for I in range 1 to 5, so I want to print numbers 1 to 5, so I need to do 1 to 6. Print I. So the range function is a very handy function, and I like it a lot because it kind of simplifies things down with the for loop. So in this case, it's basically saying for I in range 1 to 6. So basically, he's telling, so 6 minus 1 is 5. So I'm going to run this program 5 times. And like I said, in this time, the I starts from 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, it won't go to 6. That's the thing with the range function. For the second value here, the one I highlighted, subtract it from 1, that's how many times the program will run in the range function. Let me show you what it does in command prompt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it prints I. Now I want to prove to you guys how the for loop takes up less memory and is more quicker and more efficient and easier to write than the while loop. So this is what you have to do for the while loop. So first let's comment this. So Python interpreter doesn't run it. Now let's do the while loop. While I is less than or equal to the value of 5, yes, print I. I equals I plus 1. Think this should work. Yes. Oh, wait, sorry. Do something quickly. I need to start from 1, not 0. Okay. So you can see that it outputs the same output as the for loop. But let's count how many lines. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines for while loop and 2 lines for the for loop. So imagine, in bigger programs and bigger situations, how more efficient and easier to write the for loop would be compared to the while loop. However, the for loop might be a little bit more complicated than the while loop and takes a while learning, but when you got the hang of it, it's much more easy to use and you'll get much more comfortable with using it than the while loop. While loop is kind of like preparing you for the for loop, so the functions are very similar but not exact. Actually, while loop doesn't have functions, but it's mainly the for loop. So that's how you do the for loop. Okay, I just wanted to show you. If you wanted to learn more about the for loop, go here. W3 School is just a very good website, and it's where like I learned most of my for loop stuff from. So I gave you this kind of example. Oh, the break function. That function I'll be teaching you in my next class. The continue statement I'll teach you in my next class. The range function I said. So like a lot of cool things you could do, and you also want to, if you can run it, if you want to run it, you can run it yourself. Although it takes a little time, you can still run it. We can run our program in here. So our program will run in here. It should run. Yeah, it does. So that runs. Then we can also do our for loop program. Just to prove that for loop is like very efficient and it works. The program does work. I just wanted to show you guys something. This is Visual Studio Code. It is an IDE editor. IDE editors are what professional Python programmers use. And I think after these classes, I think it's time that you guys should be able to use it. I will tell you guys how to download it in the next class. But let me just show you a few cool things it does. See, it like changes color. The variables, they are white. Operators, red. Numbers, dark blue. Colons and that kind of stuff, they are white. Print functions, yellow and green. Brackets are yellow, so it's lots of cool stuff. And normally, let's say you just do this. If food equals pizza, print hello. So something like that. But did you see when I entered, it already did the spaces for me, already indented stuff for me. And as I didn't create a variable called food, it's underlining it with a yellow line, saying it's an error. And over here, food is not defined. So it's much more cooler than Notepad, and you can do a lot. You can get a lot more stuff done with it. So this is the program we did in today's class. Let's run it. So here you say run Python file. You press enter. You don't press enter, but here, that's your output. So Visual Studio Code is what I use, and from next class we will be using it. I'll teach you how to download it in next class too. So for now, thank you for watching my video, and goodbye.